here with Dakota KOTLGuy Cox. We're, at the. Did you just laugh at your own name?
Maybe.
We are at the BTS house on day 1 of the Summit 3.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to talk about your life and your exciting roller coaster ascent into the elite of Dota 2 casting.
The elite?
Yeah, the elite, man.
Thanks, man.
Mott said he thought you were 7K MMR in casting.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, Mott said that?
Yeah, Mott said that.
Well.
You can go give him a hug later.
It comes from Mott, I don't know, but I always give him a hug. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, so tell us your history. How did it? A lot of people probably know a little bit of it already, but just start from the beginning. When did you start, casting?
Well, I played Dota on and off since its birth.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge fan of Diablo 2, so I became a huge fan of Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to keep along with their products. So Warcraft 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Really loved that game. Played the standard RTS for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Was about it. Then they had the custom games, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Dota eventually rolled out. Well, it was transferred over as Aeons of Strife, and I played that a bit. And then it became, Dota from Gwinsu. Played that, loved it. And then I probably played it much more serious back in Dota 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my.
I'm gonna be a pro.
That was my gaming prime.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
that's a decade ago or so.
A decade ago. How old are you now?
I'm 30 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm very old for this.
I'm also.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You look 18.
Well, you get the. They zoom in right on your face.
I don't know what it is, man. They just see my face and they're like, let's get so close that we kiss them in the face real quick and then come back. But
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It is. But no, played Dota 1 a ton, and then eventually real life took over. It's obvious, at that point you're not making money playing games. It's just kind of like delaying.
What was your real job?
Real job was off and on, like I did.
Or let's call it something else. What was your slave job?
Yeah, that's
What was your
pretty much
slave
it. I used to work at like a rental car company for a while. I did a lot of
Rental car company, okay.
and then a lot of hospitality. I was a busboy, and then I did a lot of waiter work for like 7-8 years.
So
I was a waiter and
you
bartender.
did your work.
Oh, I did a real life. I got my hands dirty.
A realist of the real.
Yeah, I mean, I was living the life of being an actor and a musical theater performer,
okay,
and then go and work your waiter job. Go by auditions.
What was the biggest thing you auditioned for?
White Christmas on Broadway, and I made it to the final cut for the lead role of Phil Davis, but I was just too young. I was 18 years old. I was still in high school fishing up, and they felt like it was just too young. So
man.
Missed my chance there. Got really close, but I've booked some work since then, off and on, and it's been a lot of fun.
And those skills obviously translated over. They love you as a host these days.
Yeah, I think it's just once they really start to get into casting, it's like, oh, I got my love for Dota and gaming, and my charisma and theatrics, and
you can sing.
Of the triple threat, singing is probably my worst.
Okay, but you can sing better than
I can get
a
by.
normal person.
I guess so.
Okay. BTS hasn't made you do that.
I would say like my singing is probably like 3.5K MMR. So that's better than a normal Dota player.
They're gonna make you sing eventually, I think.
They tried to make me do the national anthem. I think I don't want to say last summer. It was
Okay.
We ended up all singing it together, and that was a disaster. I probably could have done better by myself.
Okay. And then so you started casting. When did you decide to start casting?
I dabbled a bit with casting in Heroes of New Earth when I made that natural transition. A lot of people did when they liked Dota 1, then they saw Han, and it was pretty much a carbon copy of Dota 1, but with better graphics. Then they started making it their own. Then we went back over to Dota 2. So in Han for a bit, I was just like jokingly casting my friends' games and our own games, never taking it serious. And then you're seeing like TI1, TI2, and then the grand one of TI3, and I'm like, I want to be involved with this somehow. So I just started hitting up the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit. I was taking requests.
Anyone put out 3 play? You were grinding.
I got back into in-house league. I played the in-house league in Dota 1, and then I just came back out of the blue to do NEL. And IX Mike hooked me up with a vouch to cast those games, and I did it. And it was in front of like 5 people, then 10 people, then 20 people, and just kept grinding it out.
And then you cast some with Mott.
Yep.
And then TI invite.
One thing led to the other. I was not expecting the TI invite. I already had booked my flight.
Yeah.
Was looking for a ticket.
What was through your head when you got that email?
I was freaked out because I think the big.
Oh my God! This is crazy.
I was at home at my parents' house on, I think it was like a holiday visit or my summer visit, and I got the message. I think the bigger thing for me was fangirling over Ice Frog.
Oh yeah,
because he was the guy who messaged me, and he was very casual about it. He's like, "Hey guys, you want to cast TI?" Like, and I'm jokingly, of course, was like, "Nah, I think I'm busy. I'm okay." But then I was like, "No, hell no, please." But the fact that he was like there, I was just like, "That's unreal to me. This is a guy who."
So you met him in person?
No, I have not
Me
met him in
neither,
person.
man. That's my goal.
He's like the Oz of Dota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to meet him too.
I think that's just like that would be the peak for me.
Okay.
Like I've been like involved with this game for over a decade of my life, and to meet the creator would be crazy.
And you're married.
I am married. I've also been with her a decade of my life.
And what did she think about you getting invited to TI and
I think that was like that was the big moment where she was like, okay, this is something for him special, and she knew I loved it. She could see like I loved my acting in theater and stuff like that. And when I book a job, it'd be great, but having to do that audition grind, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. I'm not going to classes anymore. But when I start casting a game, even from like 20 people for amateur 2 Dota League, and getting that like quick feedback, because that's something you don't get in theater, You get an applause or maybe a chuckle, but for people to like give you that feedback right away, like it was awesome. So she knew I was grinding it out, but then when TI hit and I told her like the legitimacy of it, and we saw that prize pool, she's like, oh wow, this is a big deal.
So you've been with your wife a long time then?
Yeah, we've been married for almost 2 years this October, and we've been together for about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, long
so
investment.
That's like college or high school?
Yeah, we met in a community college in a dance class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Stop laughing.
did she play? Well, it's a good story. I mean, like, hey.
I got very lucky.
And did she play Dota at all?
She does not play Dota at all.
And you guys live in like a small apartment in New York?
We live in a very tiny apartment. It's about as big as this couch. Yes.
Wow, okay. And so she hears you cast the whole time?
She does. Sometimes she'll be doing her own thing in like the neighboring, it's not even a neighboring room, it's just in that room right there.
Yeah.
Luckily, it hasn't been enough to disrupt her like while she sleeps or anything, but you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'll put up like an occasional acoustic paneling. It'll help a bit, but I'm very surprised my neighbors haven't bitched about it.
Does she understand anything about Dota then, now?
She learns a lot of the lingo. She knows like GG means it's over. She's actually learning a lot of the heroes. Her favorite player is Puppy because of his name. And then she watched the documentary Free to Play, and then she watched it again on her own just because she was like, okay, this is becoming a legit thing. She was putting the time investment into learning more about my line of work, because I know what she does. She teaches dance and theater and stuff. So when she comes home and she wants to tell me about her work day, I'll know everything she's talking about. But if I go anything about Dota, she'll be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
And does she watch anything? Like, did she see you at Red Bull and that kind of stuff?
She if I'm on camera, she loves to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this year, obviously, like some people don't know whether we're going to TI or not, but I think you did put in a lot more work this year. Let's like fingers crossed, you're probably gonna go. It's just So, what's the feeling this time? What do you think?
About going or not?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You cast a bracket this time. Bracket games.
I don't know. I mean, the dream would be to be able to do it like live, like actually in the arena. Because last time, we got to do a lot of the group stage stuff. We were locked in the Valve closet of their offices doing it. But I got a small taste of it at Red Bull when we got to be over like the PA system. You're hearing your voice. You're hearing the audience right behind you. I'm like, this is the dream. Like, this is the best. And if I can do that at some point, that'd be great. If they're like, you're doing the newbie stream, I'd be like, great. If they said, you're cleaning up the bathrooms, I'd be like, sure, I guess. But I'd still go.
11 months ago, you were still grinding it out. So that's the advice to the new casters, right?
You have to grind. Like,
it's
not like you're going to cast one game and you're looking for feedback and they say it's good, then you deserve
People are going to be like, oh, OD Pixel it. You're not going to get that. That track was...
Yeah. Even he put in a good amount of work beforehand, and sometimes it just takes that one moment to peak. For me, it was being drunk off my ass wearing a cuddle outfit that people seem to like really love. And I kind of use that shtick, because it kind of is a shtick, to platform into this, and then people would be like, oh, it's like KOTLGuy casting. And that brought in some attention. And you need that kind of attention to kind of carry it up.
And then working with BTS, what have you learned working with BTS?
A lot. I learned a lot. They took me in, they helped me out because I knew, and it went both ways. I got to help them a bit with like on-camera stuff, and I felt like I was able to bring in a fresh energy that they would feed right back with, and we'd be able to have that bit of vibrance there. And I got to learn what goes on behind the scenes. So it's like I have experience like performing on stage in front of people, seeing like the technical
Yeah,
sets
you
and
don't
stuff.
get like nervous and stuff because you're used
Oh,
to
I
it
get
all.
nervous, but
But
I
it
try my
doesn't
best
show,
to hide
it
it.
doesn't
Yeah,
show
I
it,
try my
yeah.
best to hide it. But yeah, no, I know what
So
you mean.
I mean, I know you like casting more than hosting, but you know, good hosts are hard to find, man.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and good hosts, they're game independent, you know. So like you can do stuff for Dota, and then you know other games, you know, like they want a host, you can.
yeah, I mean it is nice that
your feet wet in that, too.
esports is getting to a point where if something does happen, heaven forbid, something to my precious Dota does
That's
happen.
what your advanced age is an asset in that situation.
Yeah, life experience. I like having it. So yeah.
Okay. And okay, so tell us about the summit. What's different about it this time?
Serious prep, like.
I was there. I was in the meetings, man. You guys
Like,
are rolling. You guys
we're
are
like busting our asses off. Like someone was great. It was like, okay, this is I mean, I wasn't there for it. You know, I was still kind of working with them from time to time. I definitely was an avid spectator for the event and got to hear a lot about it and stuff. And it was very casual and fun. It was a success, you know. But then it got a lot more attention. Prize pool goes up. Players realize they have to take it that much more seriously, which means we have to give them a very serious setup for all this serious money at stake.
They got treating the players real well. They're gonna come back and be like, man, this is the best. Like, you guys have a room here with 10 computers. Any players can just set up on that, and that's in addition to the the 2 team rooms that you see on camera. And then at the hotel, you guys even set up a mini
mini LAN center.
LAN center.
20 computers at the hotel as well.
Yeah,
They got to fiend, man.
And
they got to fiend.
And that's open. They have it open 24 hours. They have someone there with like snacks, with drinks, and all the computers are there ready to go. Anytime anyone wants to plug in and use it, they can.
And they want to. These players, like you see it on their like social media.
Yeah.
They step off a plane. They're like, "Where's my practice PC at? Where's my Dota now?"
Literally, if every player wanted to be playing Dota, you can accommodate that, and that's kind of insane considering you guys have 8 teams here.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, and then you guys logistically, what do you think is the toughest behind the scenes part that people don't really realize about a tournament like this?
The toughest behind the scene part. I don't know. The first thing I think of is just the man hours going into it. I mean, very little sleep and just. It's juggling everything because when you're prepping for the summit, we're doing like Red Bull, we're doing all this other stuff, so we're juggling everything. For me personally, it's like I'm still working remotely somewhat from New York, so I'm trying my best to give my input and help out, but the communication can be a bit sketchy. We're on different time zones. We're trying to communicate a lot of it through like Skype or something, and then I'll have to just jump in and do like ES Portal or some other tournament remotely. So, and then you come together and you all regroup and you try to make best of what little time you feel like you have between these other gigs and stuff. So it can be a lot of juggling.
So what's going to happen with the majors? Summit 4, what's the deal?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that Summit's going into it not anticipating they'd be able to get something like a major. I'm sure a lot of people look at something like MLG or even just Red Bull now, and like that's what we want out of our major. That kind of illustrious production.
If there was a vote
spectacle.
right now, they'd give Red Bull a major.
I was very confident about that event. I'm like, everyone's like MLG, which has been a great show. I was a huge fan of MLG Columbus and that whole event, both of them. But I knew like, you could tell like with Red Bull and their prep, their production crew. I'm like, this is going to be a serious event. And then we got to go be there and do it. I'm like, I'm glad it lived up to that.
Red Bull LAN too, pretty fun.
Oh yeah. I didn't even know I was going to be there, but we got to go and be a lot of fun. And I love your interviews.
Thank you. I had to interview some random people.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So that's, like Summit, this has been running pretty smoothly. People don't really know about the behind the scenes stuff here, but what's next? What are you doing next? Qualifiers, yeah. Some fun qualifier coverage hopefully coming up.
Yeah.
Can't really talk that much about it until it's officially announced, but
yeah, between now through TI, it's a bit of a mystery as far as how things are going to be panning out and how that's all going to work out. There definitely is going to be a nice quiet period, I believe, in June for
kinda,
Beyond the Summit.
There will be because that's ESL.
Yeah.
And you guys you're not flying out there for those. So.
We get to play Dota.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I can't wait. I mean, the patch rolled out.
No, we'll
I got
play,
to
man.
10
I want
games.
to play with you guys.
Yeah.
Outside of the.
Because you're like me. It's like, yeah, everyone else like they grind their ranked games and they go solo hardcore. I'm like, I just want to play with my friends.
Yeah, I want to play with
fuck
my
around
friends.
with my
And
friends.
and also like I have a lot of friends that are really good at Dota, and they're always like, hey,
Yes.
come play, hop in, like whatever. Because I don't really rage that much. I'm like whatever. But when I play with them, it feels like nothing I do impacts the game. You know what I mean?
This is my life right now.
I want to play
Dota,
like
yes.
I want to play like a slightly lower MMR where I might like even if I'm the one that causes us to lose, like at least that's my thing, right?
You're channeling like my inner Dota monologue.
Exactly,
right? Now.
right? Like, it's like
you're a
okay.
caster. You're a friend with pros, so sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, KOTLGuy,
So
come play with us.
yeah,
we need to fill a spot."
I'm playing with like Blitz or whatever, and he's just like 20-1 on like Storm Spirit, and I'm like,
I bought a ward.
I could literally do nothing this game and we'd still win, or if he gets ganked a lot and he dies, and then I do not like I could do my best and we'd still lose.
And I feel like they look at you like, this is his fault, but I like him. I don't want to blame him.
right.
Like,
So we should queue together. I'll add you on Steam and we can play some fun games in June.
No, that'd be nice. Just looking forward to playing. Got to grind it a bit when the patch came out, but I am overdue to get in there.
Okay. And like, who would you say you're closest with at BTS, just like outside of the game, friends wise?
As friends?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that a tough question?
it's tough.
You want to come back to it?
I mean, I feel like I have an equal relationship with all of them. Like, we have a good professional relationship. We're okay if we need to get stern with each other to get the job done.
You guys hang out outside the game?
Yeah, and then, like I said, sometimes we'll just sit around, have a drink, and shoot the shit about just the craziness that happens.
What do you enjoy doing when you don't want to think about Dota?
When I don't want to think about Dota,
What do you do for fun?
I watch a good amount of TV.
Got any favorite shows?
Currently watching Better Call Saul, which I
Okay.
like. I like the Goldbergs. Have you heard of that show, The Goldbergs?
No.
It's like, I think the story of Adam Carolla. It's like he's like a Jewish kid, but the premise is it's a family from like the early 90s and 80s. So it's like almost our childhood, I guess you could say. So they have like a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of nostalgia in the show, and it's a comedy. It's pretty hilarious. I don't think it was Adam Carolla, by the way, but
Okay.
hilarious show. I don't know. Looking forward to like the new True Detective to come out. I like a lot of serious drama.
As someone that like studied drama, do you find it hard to like watch the stuff and not just look at the actors' mechanics and stuff?
No. I actually think it helps me appreciate it more when they do a good job.
Okay.
I think it's more often I'll see someone be like, man, they killed it. Like, you just know it. When you watch a show, and I know you're a big Game of Thrones kind of a person,
Yeah.
but I'm not. When people enjoy the show, they're like, God, that guy's such an asshole. And it's like, well, he's doing his job really well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's where you gotta give him a bit of
Sometimes they do it too well, and you just can't not see that character anymore.
yeah. I mean, you don't want to be typecasted where you're like,
Off one show.
If you do really like Urkel, let's say from Family Matters, like that guy can't do anything else
I mean,
ever.
that was like, how many years did they run?
I don't know, like 40 years, feels like. No, it was probably like at least a
Family
decade.
Matters, man.
Long time.
That was an interesting period in American television. Every
I think it was
sitcom,
a great period.
Every sitcom
Full
had the
House,
exact
Family
same.
Matters.
It was literally like middle class. Like that's an interesting because like right now in the United States there's some like now it's like they want the gritty, realistic shows.
Yeah.
Back then it was like picaresque.
There wasn't really
Like-
any like reality TV except for
Yeah.
maybe the real world.
Yeah,
It's like it,
exactly.
You know.
And now it's like they want this is like that Family Matters and like now is like The Wire. Those are like the two.
Everything
like,
was used to be so wholesome.
Yeah. It was like
Good.
Everyone's
good values.
great. Nothing bad ever happens. The one like bad episode of like Family Matters was like
He
when,
did.
like,
he smoked a cigarette.
or yeah, he smoked a cigarette or like he like gambled.
Yeah.
And
now
the,
it's
the
like,
dad's like a police officer. Like, ugh.
you damn kids are out past
Yeah.
your curfew. And
Now it's like Breaking Bad. Like we want to watch Breaking Bad.
incest and shit.
And like
Right
and like serial killer.
now. Yeah.
That's what television's about now.
Yeah.
But in 10 years, what do you think it's going to be?
Three-dimensional, freaking, you're inside the homicide. Probably.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
In 10 years, they're
Real
going to
deep.
film.
They're probably gonna like.
No, this is what they're going to do. I got it. They're going to film 3 different versions of every episode, and you can see it from. You
What do
can
you mean?
pick.
You
can
choose
pick
your
which one.
story?
Yeah. You can pick which one to watch, like which POV.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and they air them all at the same time.
You
So-
go back, and that's
the
like,
same
so you can
episode,
go
but
back
like-
and like, now I want to go back and watch it through the
Yeah,
other perspective.
I want to watch it through this perspective. Yeah. And then
That'd
you
be
can put on
pretty
your VR glass.
Yeah, never leave your room ever again.
The HTC, whatever, the one that they're partnering with Valve for,
Oh,
the
that's
$100
right.
one.
Yeah.
I want to get that one. I'm gonna get that one. Play some Dota from
I was just
inside
gonna
the
say,
game.
can you imagine, like, I don't even.
Yeah,
Whoa.
there's gonna be some crazy new esport that incorporates virtual reality. I can't wait for that.
Couldn't imagine. Dota 3 maybe? Dota 3D?
Dota 3. That's like 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe
20
even more than that, right?
Yeah, 40, 20.
If someone had to bet how many TIs there are gonna be. TI 10, do you think that exists?
No.
No?
I don't know. That's
TI 10?
That's
Right
a
now we're
long-
at 5.
With Dota 2, or just there's
Dota
still
2.
an international
Dota
for
2.
some game?
International for Dota 2, TI
If I had to
10.
casually throw out, the number that pops out at me is.
It'd be TIX. They would call it TIX.
Yeah. Oh, for like TI 10?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty badass. Maybe 8. 8 feels like a comfortable number.
8? TI 8? Okay.
7, 8.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's fair.
and this year you think the prize pool will be higher
Exceed?
than-
I didn't think so it would at first, but it's certainly looking like it will.
The Immortals will look better, dude. It's all about the items.
Freaking hats, man.
Do you know how much, like, sometimes do you wish that you could just make hats? Like, if you were just one of those people that made really good hats,
Yes.
how much money you would make?
Yes.
Crazy.
I'm like, what if I just like went into making hats? How long would it take me to get as good as some of these people?
Okay, I mean,
Do you think it would take like a year, 2 years? How much
I would-
dedicated training do you think would be a hat master?
now I think the time to do this was 2 years ago, but like,
But
nowadays,
you know?
if you're really dedicated and just learn graphic design full time, all the time, like a year or two maybe.
All right.
You probably wouldn't be as good as the best people, but you'd be able to make a hat that like got accepted maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all you need is just that one hat to get accepted.
Really?
Then you can buy a mansion, I heard.
Yeah, it's just instantaneous. They just give you $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If you were good at making hats, I know you're the interviewer here, but I'm just actually curious. Who would you make a hat for?
Which hero?
Sure.
I would make an Earthshaker one because that's my favorite hero.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those already, though.
Yeah, but he's my boy. I like the Earthshaker guy.
Earthshaker's a pretty badass hero, not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I like playing him mid, but
Okay,
no.
that's really badass.
Yeah, that's why. It's because I like the burst. And you like Kotl.
Yeah, not so burst, not so
Yeah.
badass.
Do you play Kotl the most out of all that you play?
I have, yeah. I'm a very big selfless Dota player now. Like my days, like I said in Dota 1, were like me playing mid. I used to play like a ton of Pudge. I used
Now you
to
support,
like,
yeah.
Now I'm like very selfless. I'm happy to
Support
be
life.
the guy to get the wards, keep an eye on the map, hand out mana across everyone.
Well, it's a good patch for that, dude.
Yeah.
You are.
Oh, I'm so
you
happy
are-
with the
yeah.
latest patch. I make more money, everything is cheaper. We got new items to work
You
with.
got some quests to place wards.
Yep. The wards stack on top of each other. I get
Yeah.
extra space, so much room for activities in my inventory.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
All right. I know you're busy, so I don't want to drag this out too long. Let's. You got callouts, shoutouts and callouts.
Oh,
So think about the callout because it's kind of important. People dodge it
call
all
out
the
is
time.
someone you have to like. Oh, let's
Yeah.
see.
So do the shoutouts first.
All right. Okay. Shout outs first. Shout out to obviously BTS. Shout out to everyone here who's supporting and helping out with the tournament. Everyone watching, and to all my friends and supporters and my wife, of course. Calling out Gerg because he's juggling way too many hats right now.
Mod did that too.
He's
the Gerd.
he's
Okay.
he's going with Vulcan. He's the NAR manager, and he works with High Ground TV. He needs to settle down.
Yeah.
He needs to settle the hell down. Other than that,
And he's trying to become a CS:GO.
yeah, I don't know
Superstar.
what the hell he's doing.
He's gonna make
Gerd,
his
what are
own
you doing?
team. Yeah.
He'll find his way.
Okay.
He's a young one. Other than that, I don't know, man. I don't really have anyone I'm targeting. I like to
Okay.
be everyone's friend.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the interview, and we'll see you later.
Like in probably a minute.
Yeah, we'll zoom in on his face. Can you zoom in on his face and then zoom out? No, can't do that.
Oh,
All right.
all right.
Okay, we'll throw it up in the background.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.